Break the Board Sports, your boy RJ Cash. Click that like, hit subscribe. Going down through NHL Monday, Columbus Day betting. A lot of early games on the slate. Been a great hockey season so far. Only one loss. It was the Rangers on opening night. Other than that, we've had a really great season to start off. So let's hop in. A lot of games on the board, a lot of early games. First one kicking off is the Colorado Avalanche at the Buffalo Sabres. Right now, Colorado laying $1.75 on the road, comeback plus 150 on the hometown Sabres. 88% of bets, 83% of the handle to the Avalanche, 12% of bets, 17% of the handle to the Sabres. That over-under set 6.5, 64% of money to the over, 36% of money to the under. Now, Colorado, when they face Buffalo, has absolutely owned the Sabres. Sabres just a really struggling franchise right now. Colorado 11-2 straight up the last 13 meetings. Buffalo, they're just 1-6 straight up their last 7. But at home, the Sabres do play much better. They're 8-2 straight up over their last 10. For both of these teams, it's been a game of overs. 6 of the last 9 have went over the total for Colorado. Head to head, 6 of the last 7 have went over the total when the game is played in Buffalo. Over their last 10 games as a home team, Sabres, we just talked about it, 7-10. But on the road, Colorado hasn't been very good either. They're just 3-7 on the road. 3-7 are the Sabres as an underdog. But the last 10 games that the Buffalo Sabres played at home, remember we told you they're 7-3, but when they're a home dog, they're 8-2. They had an 8-game winning streak, lost the last 2. So really good stat there for you when you're doing your handicapping. As far as last year, between these two teams, 6-5, Avalanche won in overtime back on January 2nd. The other matchup between them, 5-4. So the Avalanche swept both, but the Sabres were competitive. Again, 6-5 in overtime and 5-4. Colorado having to get up and play a 12:30 game on the East Coast. That would equate to about 10:30 their time there. I would say I'm not going to have a play on this, full disclosure. I try to give you my leans, and then I definitely give you my plays. But the lean would be to take the Sabres at plus money. I think you get good value with them. I get it. Colorado is a much better team. But sometimes you just got to go where the line takes you in this one. And I think the Sabres plus $1.50. Sometimes there's some spots $1.56 I'm seeing now across. That would be really good value. So my lean would be the Sabres today, but hopefully give you some stats to help you do your own handicap. And that's what we're all about here at Break the Board Sports, is helping you become a better handicapper. Now, if you do want all of our plays across all sports, go to breaktheboardsports.com. $37 a day for every pick for the calendar year. Ottawa Senators welcome in the Nashville Predators. Ottawa laying $1.75 plus 145 on the comeback for the Predators. 83% of the tickets and 90% of the money is on the Senators. 17% of tickets and 10% of the handle is on the Nashville Predators in this one. Nashville just 6-14 straight up their last 20. We gave them out the other night and were able to get home and cash that ticket when they played the Columbus Blue Jackets. But on the road, totally different scenario. And against the Senators, totally different scenario. Again, 6-14 straight up the last 20 for the Predators, even though we snuck out that win. But they're 1-4 their last 5 on the road, and they're 2-4 the last 6 times they've met Ottawa. The under between these two teams has cashed 7 of the last 9 times. But other than that, for Ottawa personally, it's been all about overs. Over 6 of the last 7 at home for Ottawa, and over 4 of their last 5 games. The other part of it, when these two teams match up, remember I said 7 of the last 9 have went under the total. But if you take just the home games in Nashville, so when these two teams have played in Nashville, the over has went 11 of the last 15 games. So 11-4 tick to the over. Pretty wild stat there. Last year, between these two teams, they had 2 matchups. 5-2 Ottawa, 3-1 Ottawa. So Ottawa's really dominated this series. Now, I took the home juice with Buffalo. That was a lean, but a play I'm absolutely making today. And I caught a little bit better value here on Ottawa at DraftKings than I did at FanDuel. FanDuel had them $1.76. Ottawa DraftKings had $1.75, and you might say, oh, it's only a point. But all that matters. Again, shop around, have multiple betting outlets. There's an offshore right now that has $1.70. Check that out. Everybody should have at least one offshore. They let you do a lot more exotic things and kind of maneuver around. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. Moving on, Tampa Bay Lightning at the Boston Bruins. Ottawa Senators, going back to that. That's an official play today, laying the $1.75 for Ottawa. So had the lean with the Sabres, but had the play in pocket with the Ottawa Senators for a single unit. Tampa Bay at Boston. Tampa Bay laying $1.75 on the road, plus 145 on the comeback for the Bruins. Your over-under set at 5.5. 59% of tickets, 32% of the handle right now is on the Tampa Bay Lightning. 41% of bets, 68% of the handle is on the hometown Boston Bruins. That over-under 5.5 we talked about, 76% of bets to the over, 60% of the handle going to the over for this game. Now, Tampa Bay just 1-7 straight up their last 8 and 3-6 straight up their last 9 on the road, but they've played to the over. The over's cashed 5 straight games for Tampa Bay. The over has also been good to the Boston Bruins. They've hit the over 6 of their last 9 games, and 5 of the last 6 at home have went over the total for the Bruins. The Bruins have taken 4 of their last 5, but all those overs I just gave you for Tampa Bay and Boston been a little different when they've hooked up. The under is 12-6 over the last 18. And so a little bit of discrepancy there. Now, over the last 10, Boston, 5-game win streak, 7-3, that dating back into last year, obviously. And as an underdog, Boston, they got rid of Marchand, who was their best player, went over to Florida. They're 8-2 as a dog, is Boston overall. But as a home dog, haven't fared as well. 3-7 as a home dog. Tampa Bay 6-4 as a road favorite, but Boston on the puck line is 8-2 over their last 10. So 8-2 over their last 2 on the puck line. Now that puck line's obviously pretty high for you. You get that for Boston at like minus 175 there. So again, if you have these betting outlets, so again, you can get alternative puck lines. If you could get some with Boston plus a 2.5, obviously you got to turn those into some 3-team parlays. But my lean here, $1.75. I just can't lay that on the road with Tampa. I don't think they're the same Tampa team. I think these runs they've had and not being able to get to the Stanley Cup with that roster they've had, I would take Boston or nothing here. No official play for me, but I would lean. Just like Buffalo isn't an official play, but I would lean to the home dog. Winnipeg Jets at the New York Islanders is the next one. Jets are laying $1.30 on the road in this one. Comeback plus 110 for the New York Islanders. Your over-under sets at 5.5. Now, 76% of bets going to the Jets, 24% to the Islanders. However, money's a whole lot closer. 55% of the money is on the New York Islanders. 45% of the money is on the Winnipeg Jets. Your over-under setting at 5.5. 69% of tickets, 61% of the handle going to the Jets. 31% of tickets, 39% of the handle going to the New York Islanders. When you hop into some trends for this one, Winnipeg 2-4 straight up their last 6. But they're 0-6 on the road. Despite the great goalie play and everything, Winnipeg just not good on the road. Islanders, they haven't been very good, period. Islanders 2-7 at home, 1-7 straight up their last 8. And I spoke earlier. I said we had 1 hockey loss on the season. We actually have 2 because we lost the Islanders the other night there. So the Islanders were a loss to the Capitals, and we lost the Rangers opening night. Now, the Islanders have won 5 straight against Winnipeg. And more important than that, The Islanders are 9-2 straight up the last 11 games versus the Jets, believe it or not. Now, Islanders at home, 2-8 straight up their last 10. As a road team for Winnipeg, they're 2-8. Winnipeg as a road favorite, 6-4. Islanders as a home underdog, 6-4. And this one, when I look at this matchup, I really would lean towards the New York Islanders in this one. If you look at last year, as I'm just hopping around here at stats and whatnot, between these two teams, the Islanders won the last matchup 3-2. Jets won the first one 4-3. Each team taking the home matchup. But Winnipeg comes in 1-1 in this one. The Islanders come in 0-2. I like the Islanders to get off the mat. Again, trends and spreads tell you to take the Islanders. So the Islanders, I'm not going to make an official play yet. Might see if I can get a little bit better line movement. But the Islanders would be the lean. So just like the Bruins, just like the Sabres, not playing them as of right now, but they would be leans. But I have that in pocket with the big Ottawa minus $1.75. Next game on the board to click on, Detroit Red Wings at the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are laying $1.85, comeback plus 154 for the Red Wings, over under 6.5. 86% of tickets and 81% of the handle is on Toronto. 14% of tickets and 19% of the handle on the Detroit Red Wings for this one. Now, Detroit 4-2 straight up their last 6, but total domination head-to-head. Toronto 13-6 against the Detroit Red Wings over the last 19. Detroit hasn't been very good on the road either. 3-11 straight up their last 14. Head-to-head, the over is cashed 4 of the last 6 games, and the over is cashed in 5 straight games for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this one. Now, Maple Leafs, you're going to have to pay through the nose a little bit, minus $1.70. As a road underdog, not been very good for the Detroit Red Wings. They're just 3-7. Again, sometimes in hockey, the problem is you run into these favorites with high lines. Maple Leafs, they're going to be a play for me today. It's just a matter if I two-team parlay them with somebody or play them outright. But I like the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've absolutely dominated the Detroit Red Wings. Now, the Red Wings did win the last matchup that these two teams played 6-3, but I'm just going to this is a revenge spot, right? So I always like it when two teams play back-to-back, right? Like there's no game in between. So there was an off day, but Saturday, the Red Wings beat Toronto in Detroit 6-3. Now the same two teams are in Toronto. I'll pay the $1.70 for the bounce back there. That's a trend, too, that can always help you in your handicap. And when two teams play, like on a Saturday, and then both of them's very next game is on Monday or within like a 3-day span, we hit that with the Rangers. If you remember, we lost the Rangers opening night to the Penguins. They wrapped back around 3 days later in Pittsburgh, gave out the Rangers as a big triple unit play because it just thought there was no way they'd drop 2 in a row to the Penguins, was able to get home for us. Florida Panthers at the Philadelphia Flyers right now. Panthers laying $1.42 plus 120 on the comeback. 86% of tickets on the Panthers, 14% on the Flyers. The money was about split, 52%, 48%. Now you're over under 5.5. 77% of tickets and 76% of the handle going to the over. So a lot of love there. Florida on a 5-game winning streak. They've dominated the Flyers. They're 4-1 against them. Flyers have lost 5 straight, but they're 4-1 at home. When these two teams lock up, the over is cashed 4 of the last 5 games between these two teams. For me, I took a pass. Obviously, you're looking Florida or nothing, right? But for me, I just took a pass on this game. The lean would be the Panthers on the road, obviously. The Flyers are just an absolute mess. Next game to touch on real quick is we got 3 more here. Blues at the Canucks. Canucks laying $1.22 at home, plus 102 for the Blues on the comeback. 73% of tickets on the Canucks, 27% on the Blues. 59% of the money going to the Canucks, 41% to the Blues. That over under 5.5. 62% of bets and 71% of the handle ticking towards the over right now. Blues have had a lot of success recently against Vancouver, 4-1 over the last 5 meetings, but the Blues have struggled on the road, 1-7 over their last 8. But again, on the road at Vancouver, they've treated much different, 5-1 their last 6 on the road. The under has hit 4 of the last 5 games the Canucks have played in, and 5 of their last 6, or 4 of their last 5 at home, and 5 of their last 6 overall. Again, St. Louis 5-1 mark against the Canucks over the last 6 times that they've played. Canucks straight up as a favorite, 7-3. As a home favorite are the Canucks. Now, as a road dog, the Blues are just 1-9 in their matchup. I know the Blues have had some success, but I don't like the road part of it. I would lay the short price. The Canucks minus $1.20 would be the lean for the game. Next game on the board, we got the LA Kings and the Minnesota Wild. Wild laying at R25, plus 105 on the comeback for the Kings. Money and tickets pretty even, 56% Wild, 44% Kings. 66% of the money going to the Wild and 34% of the money going to the Kings. That over-under sets at 5.5, 66% of tickets, 86% of the handle going to the over. So a lot of love here for the over on this one. Kings come in 1-2. The Minnesota Wild come in 1-1. Last year, the 3 meetings, the Kings took 2 out of 3, 5-1, 4-1, but then Minnesota wheeled back with the 3-1 victory against them in the very last one. Now, Minnesota 1-4 straight up their last 5. Kings 1-6 their last 7. So 2 struggling teams for recent. The Kings, though, have taken 6 of the last 9 matchups head-to-head between them and the Minnesota Wild. But when they play at home for Minnesota, when they match up with the Kings at home, totally different story. They're 13-5 over the last 18 matchups. The over is cashed 7 of the last 10 at home for the Minnesota Wild. For me today, I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild as a play. I'm going to lay the $1.25 with the short home favorite. Again, I know it's a lot of favorites, but it plays in pocket. Wild minus $1.25. The Senators minus $1.70, minus $1.74, and the Toronto Maple Leafs minus $1.73. Home favorites in this one. The nightcap. Last game on the board, Utah Mammoth at the Chicago Blackhawks. Mammoth laying at $60 on the road. Plus 136 is the comeback for the Blackhawks. You're over under 5.5. A lot of love for the over. 69% of tickets and 84% of the money going to the over. A lot of overs getting pounded in hockey right now. 66% of bets to the Mammoth, but only 40% of the handle. 34% of bets, but only 60% of the handle going to Chicago in this one. Now Chicago 5-15 straight up their last 20. Utah has the 6-3 advantage over the last 9 matchups between these two teams. It's been a game of overs for all of them. The over is cashed 6 of the last 7 between these two teams. It's cashed 5 of the last 7 for games Chicago's played in, and it's cashed 6 of the last 9 on the road for Utah, and it's cashed 5 of the last 7 for them. So that over under 5.5, I would definitely be looking to the over. Maybe if you're doing a parlay, like if you take, I know the Maple Leafs are a high line, and let's just kind of play around with that. I'll do it through FanDuel. That Toronto Maple Leafs line just keeps hopping up. So the Maple Leafs are getting up to like $1.75, $1.82. But again, I absolutely love the Maple Leafs in the bounce back. That's the problem with hockey. Sometimes you got to pay. But if you go to FanDuel, you can do alternate total goals, right? So if you took the Toronto Maple Leafs minus $1.82, and let's just type it in now, and you take over 4.5, which it's minus 450, but you take over 4.5, you can have the Maple Leafs and the over 4.5 at FanDuel minus $1.12. That's definitely swabble. You're thinking 3-2 in that Mammoth game. So we'll go ahead and make that a play as well. So we'll take the Toronto Maple Leafs minus $1. It wasn't minus $1.70. Let's just call it in the middle, minus $1.75, because there's a couple left. The Ottawa Senators minus $1.74. the Minnesota Wild Mazadar 25, and then a 2-team parlay, Maple Leafs money line with the alternate total goal 4.5 at FanDuel Mazadar 12. We'll do that for a single unit. So 4 hockey plays on the day for you. Click that like, hit subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow with more hockey. Check out our NFL Monday Night show. We got our AL and NLCS baseball playoff show coming out later today. Click that like.